What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is episode 293, part number 3 for your Sunday, September 29th, 2019. This is the final stop before WWE Premiere Week. I am excited. I might not be excited like some of the people on social media, but I'm excited about WWE Premiere Week. More curious than excited, but excited nonetheless. And we start with the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Now, the only reason why it's the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, and they're really building Monday Night Raw up to be bigger than it really is because it's absolutely getting overshadowed by the Wednesday Night Wars kicking off legitimately with AEW and NXT on Wednesday, and then Smackdown moving to Friday, and their debut episode being October 4th. But nonetheless, man, I'm excited about WWE Premiere Week. I am interested to see what WWE does as far as change, and I want to see if they are really embracing it. I want to see if they really institute what we all feel they need to, and that is that big word, that most important word, change. And I mentioned on Friday, when we did Off the Script on Friday, that change is not coming until the WWE Draft. You can do all this and all the reports of fireworks and new sets and new commentary teams and everything. But change is not going to come until October 11th with the WWE Draft, when WWE really nails down this roster for both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, and we really get a true sense of brand exclusivity. That's the only time I'm going to sit down and really say, you know what? Things are finally changing. Because right now, it's all hype. And I want you guys to understand that. I'm repeating myself again, I know. But I want you guys to understand that right now, it's all hype. Don't fall for the hype. Next week is so busy, man. I don't know how I'm going to attack everything. Monday, we are going to go about normal business. Monday Night Raw, I'll be here covering the show as always. Tuesday now is an open day. Tuesday's an open day. And I've batted around the idea. And I know Sal Rex gave me a layout that we're going to be seeing on Wednesdays when we talk about AEW, but I honestly think, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this week or if I'm going to start next week, but I want to have an AEW only podcast on Tuesday. And I honestly think that would probably be the best thing going forward instead of mixing the AEW news in with the Off the Script here on the weekend. I think going about it on Tuesday and having it be a standalone podcast is what I think is the best to fill that Tuesday void. So let me know what you guys think about that. Are you interested in a AEW only podcast to fill that empty day now on Tuesday? Obviously, with NXT and AEW Wednesday, I will be watching AEW live. I will be talking about AEW on Wednesday as soon as the show is over. That is going up on the channel Wednesday night. NXT and the NXT podcast is moving to Thursday. So make sure you guys are aware that NXT will still be on the channel, no question, but that's being moved from Wednesday to Thursday. So that's going to be Thursday's upload. Friday, obviously, SmackDown. Off the Script will no longer be 3 parts. Off the Script will be primarily Saturday and Sunday, and that is it. I'm not doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday anymore. I'm not double uploading on Friday with SmackDown. Off the Script is being moved to Saturday for part 1. So make sure you guys are aware. I'm going to remind all of you on social media again. I'm going to remind you on Twitter. I'm going to remind you on Instagram. So that is the schedule moving forward, man. Full WWE and AEW coverage throughout all the days. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday filled with content. It's an exciting time to be a fan of pro wrestling, guys. We're going to see. It's going to be great for the fans, but we're finally going to see if it's good for the wrestlers as well. So we'll see what happens. So that's the content calendar moving forward, going into what I think is the most important week in pro wrestling history next week, with AEW jumping on board, NXT going head-to-head with AEW, Raw with the season premiere, and SmackDown with their debut on Fox. It is the most important week in not only pro wrestling, but it's the most important week, I think, in WWE history. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds for the next week. And not only that, with all the wrestling content that we're getting and all the wrestling shows that we're getting next week, I got House of Glory on Saturday. I got a meet and greet of sorts in Brooklyn with Solid Monster and some of the guys over at Wrestling Soup. We're going to be in Brooklyn right before the debut of Smackdown on Fox. And I am going to be nailed down with Destiny. Destiny 2 Shadowkeep comes out on Tuesday, man. I got to unleash my inner child. I got to unleash my inner gamer in me. So I'll be twitching or mixering. Is that even a word? Mixering? I'll be on Mixer and I'll be on Twitch. Either one of them streaming the Destiny 2 Shadowkeep story mode. So it's going to be a big week, man. It's going to be so busy, I might not even get sleep. But it should be fun. And then the baseball playoffs. The Braves are in the NLDS. Will they get out of the NLDS? I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But they got the Cardinals, and they got swept by the Mets. Well, they're losing right now. But they're about to get swept by the Mets. They're probably resting a lot of their major guys, and they don't really need to push anybody because they already won the division. But they need to get out of the NLDS. Hopefully they could do it this year. I know every time it comes down to it, they usually choke, and it's like a team like the Cardinals that come on in and they play like shit all year, and then when they get to the playoffs, that they're like the most unstoppable team in the fucking playoffs. That's the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's unbelievable next week, man. So many things going. Comic-Con also happening next week. I will not be going to Comic-Con. Thank God. I don't think I could fit it in the schedule next week. So either way you look at it, it's going to be crazy. But this episode of Off the Script is going to be crazy. I got news on Seth Rollins. Oh, poor Seth Rollins. Poor Seth Rollins. He deleted his Twitter account, man. What a fool. What a fool. We're going to go over why Seth Rollins deleted his Twitter account, and we're going to go over why he should stay off social media, period. Yet this is the guy that's the champion of the universe for WWE, and he can't handle a few Sasha Banks fans. What a loser, man. Go back to Iowa and have a fucking cup of coffee, you fucking degenerate. Oh my goodness, man. We're going to go over that. And Bray Wyatt. I got news on Bray Wyatt. And why WWE could already be fucking up the entire gimmick of The Fiend. And what WWE could have planned for Wyatt and Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. Also, speaking of Sasha Banks, to backtrack just a little bit, Sasha Banks extended her WWE contract. She is now with the WWE with what I believe is 5 years in total. I don't know why. We're going to try to attack this the best way that we can, and I'm going to try and make sense of all this, just not because of what I think Sasha is thinking, but what I think is the main reason why she stayed with the WWE. So we're going to go over all that, and I got news on WWE adding Fire and all this other shit to their introduction now. Roman Reigns booked for a match on Friday for the Smackdown debut. Who is he going to go up against? I got news on the Usos possibly returning. Could be against Roman Reigns and whoever his opponent is. Adam Cole is injured, and he could be pulled from Wednesday's NXT title match against Matt Riddle. And more news on CM Punk. WWE believes CM Punk wants to wrestle for them. All this plus so much more right here on the podcast. Guys, make sure you follow me on social media. Please do that. At JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys missed the podcast this week and part 1, we talk about the most important week in WWE history. That is WWE Premiere Week. Make sure you guys go and check that out on part 1. On part 2, we talk about CM Punk showing up at the Fox Studios in Los Angeles, trying out for WWE Backstage to be a co-host with Renee Young, starting November 5th on FS1. And John Morrison, now that he's refuting these reports, he has to. The WWE signed John Morrison to a contract, supposedly, and my thoughts on John Morrison coming back to the WWE. Make sure you guys go and check all of that stuff out down below in the description. Make it easy for you guys. Go and check it out if you did miss any of that. And I have to shout out my sponsor for today, man. You guys know the deal. Harry's. Harry's.com/script. Harry's is the best shave of your life. And I'm going to tell you why I use Harry's. You know, humans have been shaving for over 5,000 years. And it all started with flint tools to shark teeth, the first copper razor, They always knew that a great shave came down to the simple, sharp, and durable blades. The ancient Greeks are another one. They didn't use flex balls or need flex balls or heated handles. Neither do you. That's why Harry's doesn't add gimmicky features to their razors. They focus on the qualities that actually matter for a close, comfortable shave, and they never upcharge you. Join the 10 million, including myself, and claim your special trial offer today by going to harrys.com/script. JD, why do you love Harry's so much? I always used to cut myself with other competitors' razors, man. Always. And cutting yourself is one of the worst things that a guy can do when he's shaving, because it's very noticeable. You look like a fool. You're going out on a date and you got this nick or that nick on your face. The girl asks, what happened? You don't know how to shave? Well, why do you look like a dummy? And you feel embarrassed. I never feel that way with Harry's, man. I love the fact that I don't cut myself. I love the closeness of the shave, and I love the easy glide. And you know what else I love? I love the low price. Harry's is a return to the essential. Quality, durable blades at that fair price, man. Just $2 per blade. To keep prices low, they cut out the middleman. Harry's owns a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making some of the best razors in the world for 99 years. That's a lot of years, man. Now they can provide great quality at factory direct prices, and Harry's is also a brand you can trust. 1% of sales are donated to organizations that provide access to mental health care for men. If you don't love your shave, also, let them know and they will give you a full refund. JD, this sounds great. What am I going to get when I use your unique link, harrys.com/script? Well, you're going to get a razor handle with a firm grip, 5-blade razor with the lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe, very important, very key, that aloe, to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover as well to keep your razor dry and easy on the go. Guys, all this summed up into one simple sentence: start shaving better. You can only do that at harrys.com/script. I think we can all agree that Bray Wyatt is easily the best thing on WWE television. I think a lot of people are excited that he could, and I don't want to say he could, he should win the Universal Championship at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. Speaking of which, I did not even realize there was a pay-per-view on Sunday until I started reading this news article. There's also a pay-per-view at the end of this week. WWE Premiere week, right? So much shit going on, man. So much wrestling, it's wrestling overload. But I think we can all agree that Bray Wyatt is the best thing on WWE television. He's the most captivating thing on WWE television. And there was some confusion online this week about Bray Wyatt. Now, we all know that if WWE, or I don't want to say I know because I don't know with this company, but I would assume that if Bray is walking in to Hell in a Cell, he's walking out as champion. Because there's no reason why you're going to book this man and The Fiend in a championship match this soon and have him lose. And I don't want to hear anything from anybody. I don't want to know what these writers are thinking. There's no, I want you guys to look at me, you fucking cretins over in Stamford, Connecticut. There's no other choice here. One way in, one way out. I don't want to see any trickery. I don't want to see any fuckery. I don't want to see anything that is stupid or illogical. There's no other way at all. Bray wins, and that's it. I don't want to see a fuck finish. I don't want to see a fucking Hell in a Cell end in a DQ. I don't want to see a triple threat with Braun Strowman. I don't want to see Braun Strowman destroy the structure. I don't want to see him enter the cell. The cell is supposed to keep everybody out. You lock him in, Bray walks out as champ. Simple. It's a simple concept, folks. It's not something that takes a lot of fucking brain power. Now, with Bray Wyatt winning the Universal Championship, I think we would all love to see WWE have some creativity with the Universal Championship. Daniel Bryan had his hemp belt. Stone Cold had his smoking skull belt. John Cena had his spinner belt. Edge had his rated R belt. And The Rock had his Brahma Bull Championship. The $1 Million Man had the $1 Million belt. I would love to see a title in the image of The Fiend. It would be great. And it would actually look a lot better than the fucking current Universal Championship. I hate the model and the look of all WWE's major championships. They're disgusting. They don't remind me of anything prestigious. They don't look like championships. They look disgusting. And that goes for the Universal, the WWE, the women's, the tag team. They don't look prestigious. They look like shit. Let's be honest. They look like shit. But Bray Wyatt having his own custom championship could be something that I think a lot of people can get behind. Now, there was a custom Bray Wyatt championship belt floating online this week, which everybody thought was a big premonition that he was going to win, or a big spoiler that he was going to win at Hell in a Cell. I don't need a fucking video of a custom-made Bray Wyatt Universal Championship to know that he should win the Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins. But Paul Martin, he had a new video that surfaced online, and it was a custom Bray Wyatt Universal title. It looked crazy. It had "Let Him In" on one side of the belt strap. It had The Fiend written in Bray Wyatt's lettering on the other. It had the image of Bray Wyatt on the side plates. It said The Fiend in the championship insignia on the actual front plate. It looked great. The color was different. It's not that silly fruit by the foot fucking color that the Universal Championship is now. It fit the overall color of Bray Wyatt's maroon sweater. It looked great. It really looked great. Looked like there was barbed wire in the etching on the leather strap. It looked great. So Paul Martin of Paul Martin Belts commented on this to clarify and clear up all the bullshit that was being said online. Now, I don't want to shout him out, but I have to because he's a part of this fucking story, and he is a guy that legitimately does not go about doing things the right way. He is a complete ripoff of me. He is a complete fucking idiot. He blocked me on social media because I called him out for ripping me off through mannerisms and body language and fucking having a podcast. The guy is absolutely mental. Mental! There's only one me, asshole, and it's not you. That's for sure. Now, if you guys are wanting to start up a YouTube channel or get into the podcasting game, please do things the right way. Develop an audience for yourself. Be organic. People will come. People always ask me, JD, do you have any tips for me on how to become a podcaster or get to where you are? Yes, be yourself. Put yourself out there. And then good things will start to come your way. You will start to develop relationships. You'll start to develop an audience. People will want to come back and watch you week by week. That's how it works. I never took the easy way out. I never bought subscribers. I never did any of this shit. Everything was built through legitimate means. I didn't go out there and rip off anybody. I didn't go out there and listen to a podcast and then take the ideas said on that podcast for my own. Everything here is literally off the script. I have bullet points here. I have quotes, and that's it. All the opinions you hear on this show are from me. Now, AC from New York. If you guys don't know who he is, spare yourselves. He shared this video and did not give proper credit to Paul Martin. Now, Paul Martin says this about the AC from New York Twitter account. This came from my Instagram, meaning the video. This isn't the real belt. It's a replica belt I changed the leather on. This account hasn't bothered to clear up any of that or credit me, as they were obviously out for clicks. So Paul Martin is the guy who made this for himself because he is a belt designer. Meanwhile, AC took the video, shared it, and said, you know what, I'm not going to give this guy the proper credit. I'm going to turn this into a possible news story and give myself the traction, the subscribers, the views, the clicks on this, and pretend that it's a real story. Meanwhile, I just stole this video from somebody else and am now pretending that it's mine. People, do things the right way, please. We all assume that Bray Wyatt is going to win the Universal Championship, but I don't need a belt customly made by somebody else to come to that conclusion. Give me a break. If you really want a news story, go out there and find someone legit like a Sean Ross Sapp and follow what they do. They don't just take shit from other people and fucking post it online pretending that it's theirs. Come on. Moving on. More on Bray Wyatt, man. More on Bray Wyatt. WWE is planning to protect the Fiend character. Oh, really? Really? They didn't do such a good job of protecting the Fiend this week as video surfaced online from a dark match segment in which Seth Rollins gave The Fiend 4 curb stomps. And then the lights did not go all the way out, and people seen not only The Fiend come from underneath the ring and enter in the dark match segment, but after the curb stomps, the lights didn't go all the way out, and people seen The Fiend run away. WWE is even booking The Fiend versus Seth Rollins on house shows to, I guess, give the fans a glimpse of what's to come. Now, the house shows are probably used in a way where both Rollins and Wyatt are practicing about what they want to do on a bigger stage. But Rollins has been beating The Fiend in these situations by disqualification. I don't know why you would have The Fiend on a house show and lose in front of a live audience. Not really what I would want as far as that character's progression goes. It's not really protecting the Fiend character in any way. Now, Wrestling News reports that the plan is to continue having Bray avoid clean losses. Wyatt's DQ loss at the house show was brought up in this example. The idea is to continue to protect him and not have him lose clean. Okay, so come Hell in a Cell Sunday, Bray Wyatt is winning clean. Simple. That plan extends to live events. Friday night, last Friday, Wyatt wrestled Rollins and lost the match via disqualification. Wrestling News also reports that WWE is well aware of Bray Wyatt's current reactions. The Fiend is absolutely the hottest thing in WWE right now, but he is not turning babyface anytime soon. I don't want The Fiend to be babyface, but I said it on Monday Night Raw. I know that when Bray Wyatt walks into Hell in a Cell and they see him locked in the cage with Rollins, and after Rollins' terrible performance on Monday night, people booing him, people already giving him the Roman Reigns reaction, right? And it's rightfully deserved. Rollins is walking into Hell in a Cell, the underdog, and he's walking into Hell in a Cell as the heel. Because nobody in that audience wants to see Rollins beat The Fiend. They're going to be pro-Fiend, and they're going to be against Seth Rollins. So it's not meaning that Wyatt's turning babyface. It's just on Sunday night, he will be the babyface because everybody wants to see him win because they're tired of Seth Rollins as Universal Champion. The plan is to let Bray become one of the biggest heels in the company. This could very well lead him to become one of the most over babyfaces after a certain time, and it could take a little bit before WWE even gets there. WWE is definitely planning big things for Bray Wyatt in the future, and it all starts at Hell in a Cell, folks. Right now, you're booking him inside Hell in a Cell, and you're going to give him the Universal Championship. That is the only way they could go about this. Now, fans, not only are they livid over the fact that this video footage leaked, or livid over the WWE just putting Wyatt in that situation anyway, you're not really protecting Bray Wyatt, because nothing is able to be kept secret. You know, a dark match like that, why would you even explore a dark match like that when you know you're going to have some fucking idiot in the crowd on his $4,000 fucking cell phone, right? And they're going to be filming away to try and post shit on their social media. Instead, don't put him in this situation. Now you're probably asking, JD, what fucking cell phone costs $4,000? I don't know, I'm trying to make a point. Whatever. But you don't put Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt in that situation knowing that it's going to be all over social media within hours. Why would you do that? Why would you risk the mystique of The Fiend because you can't help yourself and you need to give the fans something happy about or happy to go home with at the end of a shitty Monday Night Raw? I don't get it. So not only are fans livid over the fact that this happened at the end of Monday Night Raw, but fans are livid over Bray Wyatt's Fiend breaking kayfabe. Dana Brooke, yes, catering extraordinaire, Dana Brooke, uploaded a video while she was backstage of The Fiend. Now, the problem is that fans reacted to this very negatively, and it was across all social media platforms. Twitter, it was on Facebook, it was on Instagram. Some people don't see a problem with it, and some people were definitely bothered by it. Some fans are actually calling for Dana Brooke to lose her job. Now, I'm not wishing anybody to lose their fucking job over some video footage, but Dana Brooke clearly has no functioning brain Why would you take a picture of The Fiend and post it on Instagram? Like, really? Do you not care about anything? Especially that character. How lazy can you be? It is foolish. Things like that. Honestly, it boils down to not only respect for Bray Wyatt and what he's doing with the character, but Dana Brooke clearly has no respect for the fucking business. Everything is like, oh, look at me on social media. Oh, look at this. Why would you do that? It boils down to having respect for the fucking business. Dana Brooke has none. Dana Brooke has none. That's all I could say about that. Now, obviously, with The Fiend, I think we're going to get the Universal Championship. One thing I want to mention is going into Survivor Series. If Brock Lesnar wins the WWE Championship, which I do think will happen, I wouldn't necessarily put it out there to have The Fiend and Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Because honestly, with what WWE did with the Survivor Series for the last couple of years, I've loved the concept. I love the Raw versus Smackdown concept. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say WWE's not going to do this, because it really gives them an easy out, because look at the pay-per-view calendar coming up. You got Hell in a Cell, then you got the Saudi show happening on fucking Halloween. It's the scariest night of the year, folks. Crown Jewel is happening in Saudi Arabia. Jeddah, again on Halloween. It's great. You want to watch a fucking Freddy Krueger movie? You want to watch Child's Play with Chucky? You want to watch some Halloween flicks? Michael Myers? Listen, Crown Jewel is going to be more scarier than all of those combined. Now, with Crown Jewel coming up and then Survivor Series happening literally 2 weeks after that, WWE is going to be in the same boat that they were in last year. They don't have any time to develop stories, and the easy way out for the Survivor Series, so that they actually have some legit build, is doing the Raw versus SmackDown theme. It's easy. Champion versus champion. U.S. champion versus IC champion. Universal champion versus WWE champion. Women's champion versus women's champion. Tag team champion versus tag team champion. It's an easy out. It's an easy out. If WWE wants to keep the mystique of The Fiend intact, I would not put him in a match with Brock Lesnar. And I just can't see WWE beating Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series in a match with The Fiend. I don't think that's very likely. So to avoid all this shit, because people are going to end up bitching and complaining anyway, I would not do the Raw vs. SmackDown theme for the entire show. I would actually just keep it in the 5 vs. 5 traditional Survivor Series match. And that's all I would do. Because WWE ruined the Raw vs. SmackDown theme all year. We've been seeing it all year. It doesn't even matter at this point. You've diluted the concept all year that now, nobody thought about it then, but now the Survivor Series this year is absolutely meaningless with the Raw and SmackDown theme, because you did it all year. Who gives a shit? It's not special. You've clearly shown us why it's not special with the wild card rule. So wait another year. Go away from it. Come back to it in 2020 when you have brand exclusivity. Brand exclusivity. I would do Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Or Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins in a rematch. Or something like that. Or Bray Wyatt finding a new opponent. Whoever that may be. I don't know. But I would not do Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar, because there's no easy way to get out of that situation. You don't want to beat The Fiend. You're not going to have Brock Lesnar throw The Fiend around. You're not going to have Brock Lesnar lose to The Fiend or tap out to the fucking Mandible Claw. And you want both guys to look strong. Lesnar's going to be the face of SmackDown. Bray Wyatt's going to be the face of Monday Night Raw. It's a lose-lose situation in that point. So why not just avoid it at all costs? 5-on-5 Survivor Series could be Raw versus SmackDown, and that's it. And you know what? If you want to do that, give WWE, or give the brand that wins that match something. Whether you get a draft pick next year, or you get a draft pick from NXT 1, where you can add an NXT roster member to either Raw or SmackDown. Give that match something. Or better yet, do like the All-Star Game does. WWE wants to have fun with it. If Monday Night Raw wins the Survivor Series match, why not have the Universal Championship main event WrestleMania? If WWE has the WWE Champion on SmackDown, right? And SmackDown wins, then the WWE Championship would be in the main event of WrestleMania. More like a home field advantage type thing, right? Because when the National or American League, whoever wins the All-Star game, I don't know who won it this year. I think it was the American League that won it. The American League in the World Series gets home field advantage. Now, that's fucking stupid, but that's what they're doing nowadays. I don't like that concept at all. Just like I don't like the concept of the one-game wild card rule. You can win a fucking 100 games and then be eliminated because you didn't win the wild card game. Meanwhile, back in the day, the wild card game was a 3-game series. What kind of shit is that? And with the home field advantage because you won the All-Star game, that's not fair. That's really not fair. It should be whoever's in the World Series, whatever American League team versus National League team it is, the best team with the best record out of those two teams gets home field advantage. Now, here I am complaining about baseball. Man, it's baseball season. Don't get me started, man. It's playoff season. Don't get me started. But WWE could do something like that. I wish that they would. Have fun with it, man. Have fun with it. I would avoid it at all costs, but the mystique of Bray Wyatt, man, WWE's already fucking up. They're already fucking up. So I would say they have to be very careful from this point on because you got Dana Brooke taking pictures, you got DQs happening at house shows. There's a thing called the Performance Center. Make time and go down there and work on your match. There's no reason for it to happen at a house show. Jesus Christ, man, do they not care about anything? You got this character that's fucking making waves, and here you are putting it in these situations where you're gonna fuck it all up. Stop. What I would stop is Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. Because WWE apparently has not had enough of it yet. Roman Reigns is booked for a match on Friday, and guess who his opponent is, folks? Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan and Roman Reigns are going to be booked for the October 4th, 20th anniversary episode of SmackDown Live. This will be a big match in the storyline with Luke Harper and Daniel Bryan, respectfully. And I don't understand this, man. We've seen this at the fucking pay-per-view. Is it that difficult to give me Roman Reigns and, well, I don't know, Luke Harper? Really? Why do we have to see this again? We didn't care about it the first time. Now we got to see it again on Friday. Not really what I want for a new beginning. We've seen this already. It doesn't belong on this show. I would much rather see Reigns and Luke Harper, and I think those two would actually have a damn good match. I don't know why that's so difficult, but we're getting Eric Rowan nonetheless. We'll see what happens. I think the Usos will be coming back to WWE anyway, and that is exactly what's being reported. They will make their return on Friday on SmackDown, and I could see them assisting Roman Reigns in this situation with Harper getting involved and Rowan and Harper just dominating Reigns. I could see the Usos come in for the save. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Usos look like, how they come off on TV after the DUI by Jimmy the last time that he was, I guess, arrested. Hopefully he is healthy. Hopefully he figured everything out. Hopefully he's on the right track. We don't want nothing bad to happen to Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso, for that matter. But hopefully he got himself clean and is on the right track to doing what he needs to do. Because the Usos, honestly, when they are on, it is very difficult to not think that they are the best tag team in the world. They are good at what they do. Very good at what they do. Hopefully they don't fuck that up. Hopefully we see them on Friday. I miss them. I miss them as a tag team. I miss tag team wrestling and what the Usos bring to the table. Hopefully they are back and healthy on SmackDown Live. Now, Adam Cole. Speaking of the Usos being out, Adam Cole could be out, and he could be pulled from Wednesday's NXT show. We don't know yet, but he was already pulled from NXT house shows when NXT has been touring the Midwest. Dave Meltzer is reporting that Adam Cole was pulled from NXT's Midwest tour. He hasn't wrestled in several weeks, and he has a cast on his right wrist. It might be all that Borderlands 3, bro. What's going on? When did he get hurt? How did he get hurt? Why are we just hearing about this now? Now, we are unsure what this means in regards to his NXT title match against Matt Riddle on October 2nd. WWE did put out a report that Cole suffered a possible fracture due to Riddle's armbar, so they could have a storyline way out of this match if Cole is unable to work. I don't think there was anything in the news about Adam Cole being injured. I want to assume here, and I'm going to make a guess, that Adam Cole is not really hurt, and WWE is actually playing up a storyline here from what happened on Wednesday when Matt Riddle beat Killian Dane and then attacked Adam Cole after the end of their street fight. So I'm going to go and assume that Adam Cole is storyline injury only. We'll see what happens on Wednesday, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Hopefully he's not hurt, because that would be terrible, not only for the NXT Championship, but for NXT in this vital time right now when AEW is joining the game. NXT needs to be at maximum strength for this war on, quote-unquote, war on Wednesday night. WWE's bringing flames and lasers to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live next week. I wish I could burn the fucking script every week on Monday Night Raw with the fucking flames and lasers that they're going to be bringing. WWE is turning up the production value. More work for the Beaver. Great. WWE is reporting via the Post, the New York Post, that Kevin Dunn has confirmed WWE Raw and SmackDown are getting big changes next week. This is not only including new sets, but flames and lasers coming as well. Does that mean that Ricochet gets his fucking lasers back in the introduction? I hope so. Talked with WWE executive producer Kevin Dunn about WWE on Fox. Confirmed there will be new sets, openings, logos, graphics, and theme music for both Raw and SmackDown. Pyro is also returning, including flames and lasers. More details next week on New York Post Sports on Twitter about WWE Premiere Week. So if you guys want to follow the New York Post on Twitter, at NY Post Sports on Twitter. There you go. It's going to be very interesting to see what WWE does with this fire and this laser, or these lasers. Clearly, WWE wants to make it big, but if AEW didn't already state that they're going to be bringing fireworks and fucking glitz and glam and all this other shit that WWE used to do back in the day, would WWE be doing it? We might see it for the opening shows, but WWE wouldn't be doing it every single week. So I want to know how much of it is WWE internally wanting to do this, or how much of it is a thing to say, you know what, well, they're going to have it, we need to have it too. You can make all the changes you want. New sets, new theme music, you could do logos, graphics, give me the introduction back. That's all great, and that's positive change. Because WWE got away from doing all this stuff, but again, it's the same roster. At least for right now, it's the same roster. You got the same 74-year-old man booking the same roster on Monday night. How different is it really going to be? Does that constitute as change for you? I don't think so. Change happens on October 11th, folks. This right now is WWE clearly doing what they need to do, but it's not real change yet. The real change for you to determine or make an opinion on happens in 2 weeks. When that roster on Monday night looks vastly different from what we see now, and that roster on Friday looks vastly different from what we see now, that's the change. That's the change. I can't get behind change when it's the same fucking people booking the same people in the ring every Monday with a new logo and a new fucking this and a new that. It's not change to me. It's just masking the problem with fucking hype. So we'll see what happens. Flames and lasers coming to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. Now, speaking of Monday Night Raw, I've been talking about the commentary deal. I've been talking about the commentary deal on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. NXT remains unchanged. They got the best commentary team in the game right now with Mauro and Nigel, and then Beth Phoenix there as well. She does a very good job at what she does there. And SmackDown Live is getting Michael Cole and Corey Graves and Renee Young as a special contributor, whatever the fuck that means. Monday Night Raw is getting Vic Joseph and Dio Madden. Dio Madden's 28 years old. Vic Joseph is 33 years old. And then 70-year-old Jerry the King Lawler, whose decision was to add the King, Vince McMahon. It's reported Vince McMahon told Jerry the King Lawler he can have the commentary spot for as long as he wants it. How is that change? How does it look, presentation-wise, to have a 33-year-old, a 28-year-old, and then a 70-year-old there on the commentary team? Doesn't look right. Now, Paul Heyman wanted Dio Madden. This was a move that he wanted. He wanted to take a risk, and that's something I already said this weekend I appreciate. But Paul Heyman did not want Jerry the King Lawler on commentary for Raw. Now, during Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that Paul Heyman didn't want Jerry the King Lawler on Raw. It's unclear exactly who will be Lawler's permanent replacement, but Nigel McGuinness is a logical choice. He's not really going to be the choice. I don't know if they're going to take him off of NXT, but he would be obviously the logical choice to plug into that role. I think that would be phenomenal. Because Nigel is. He definitely is the best color man in the business right now. Now, with McGuinness being a possibility, we talked about Mickie James. Yes, Mickie James. She was on WWE Main Event or Superstars, I forgot which one. And she was in a commentary role. She's going through rehabilitation. She was out with a really bad injury. And WWE put her in that role for a specific reason. They could be grooming Mickie James to be a female presence on Monday Night Raw to replace Renee Young and give that show a female presence. I went on and stated, I don't think Monday Night Raw needs a female presence. I don't know what is the problem with just Vic Joseph and Dio Madden. All because SmackDown Live has Renee Young and NXT has Beth Phoenix. We need a female presence on Monday Night Raw. No, we don't. We don't. If you're not cut out for the job, then you're not cut out for the job, no matter what gender you are. And all because the other shows have a female presence doesn't mean Monday Night Raw needs one. If you're good, you're good. And if you're capable, then you should be there. But this is not a move I would make just because they need to make a political move and have a female on Monday Night Raw. Jerry the King Lawler is not the answer either. But Wrestling Observer Radio says this, and I quote, Paul Heyman did not want Lawler, but Lawler is in there right now, but Lawler is temporary. That's what the report said. There's another guy, and I don't know who it is. It might be Nigel. If I was gonna, I don't know it's Nigel, but if I read the tea leaves correctly, I would think that it would be my guess, it would be Nigel. Nigel's great, but Heyman wanted a whole new announce team, end quote. I just mentioned Vince McMahon told Jerry the King Lawler, per reports, that he can have the commentary spot as long as he wants it. Now, everybody's saying it's temporary. But here I'm reading, Vince McMahon says to Jerry the King Lawler he can have it for as long as he wants it. And here we have Paul Heyman not wanting Jerry the King Lawler in that spot. Folks, we all know that Jerry the King Lawler doesn't belong there. We all know that just presentation-wise, he's not going to fit with the much younger, youthful commentary team that they got. New commentary team on Monday Night Raw. But the only thing I will say about this is this. You think that these shows are changing because of Paul Heyman's influence. Yes, he might have some. But every decision that is coming to these shows is overridden and overriding by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's making these decisions. Vince McMahon is the end-all, be-all for these decisions and these shows. This is a prime example. Vince McMahon wants it. Vince McMahon's going to get it, no matter if Paul Heyman doesn't want it at all. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon is going to do what he wants. Something so basic about not putting Jerry the King Lawler in there because Paul Heyman doesn't want it. Vince says, no, I want it. This is the way it's going to be. How much influence does Paul Heyman really have? Not as much as you think. What would the show look like under Paul Heyman's influence 100% without Vince McMahon? That's something we talked about as well. That's something that we could possibly be getting with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is going to be less important than SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is going to be, or SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown is going to be the most important show on WWE television. Monday Night Raw might be in a situation where Vince doesn't really give a shit about Monday because he's concentrating on Friday, and when he's not concentrating on Friday, then he's going to have the XFL. So is Vince really going to go to SmackDown Live to be there for SmackDown Live, do his XFL thing, and then go to Monday for Raw? No, I don't think so. I think the best thing for Vince to do is worry about SmackDown and leave Monday Night Raw to Paul Heyman. It might end up, I wouldn't say might, it will end up being a better show as far as Monday Night Raw standards go. Let him do what he needs to do to run that show. Give him his own team. Give him his influence. Let him have fun with it. Monday Night Raw deserves it. So do we at the end of the day, because we've suffered through so many years of Monday Night Raw just being god-awful television. Imagine what the show would be if Paul Heyman had his way to do whatever he wanted. Clearly he can't, because Vince McMahon wants Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Guys, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I got to shout out my other sponsor today, and you guys are going to have fun with this one, man. Honey. JoinHoney.com/offthescript. You guys ever buy something online and then find out later that you could have gotten it for a lot less? It's a pretty bad feeling. It's like going to McDonald's and ordering a 20-piece chicken McNugget with barbecue sauce. You get to the drive-thru window, you get handed your bag, you're thinking the barbecue sauce is in the bag because you've already mentioned it. You got another 20 minutes before you get home, you're stuck in traffic. You think the barbecue sauce is in the bag, only to come home and find out that the lady forgot to put barbecue sauce in your bag. And now you got 20-piece McNugget with no barbecue sauce. It's like that, man. Luckily, I have Honey, free browser extension on your PC that saves you money and time when shopping online. Honey scans the internet for coupon codes and other discounts, and then like magic, it automatically applies the one with the biggest savings to your cart at checkout. It knows about every coupon code, sale, or discount at over 20,000 sites like Amazon, Macy's, J.Crew, Domino's, Sephora, Target, and more. Just shop like normal and Honey finds you the savings, and believe me, it feels amazing, like that first sip of a pumpkin spice latte on a beautiful fall afternoon. Now, I recently just used Honey myself. My friend had a birthday party for his 9-year-old daughter, and I knew exactly what she wanted. So I used Honey, and I found the best savings, the best deal, so that I could get his daughter the playhouse that she wanted. I saved myself some money, I got my friend's daughter exactly what she wanted, and I felt absolutely fantastic at the end of it all, man. Honey has saved its 10 million users over $1 billion in savings. That is a lot of money. Listen, there's no reason for you not to use Honey. It's free, and it installs on your computer with just 2 clicks. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/offthescript. That's joinhoney.com/offthescript. If I was a betting man, I would say that Sasha Banks thinks her new WWE contract extension is as sweet as honey. WWE and Sasha Banks have come to an agreement that she will be extending her current WWE contract for what I would assume is now 5 years in total, because WWE is giving out nothing less than 5-year contracts. And this is legit. Something that I wish was not legit, but this is legit, as Fightful Select and Sean Ross Sapp are reporting. They've been informed by a source on Friday afternoon that former WWE Raw Women's Champion Sasha Banks had extended her current WWE deal. The tip was later confirmed by another high-level name within the company and noted that the agreement was reached upon her WWE return. It is important to note that the terms of the deal were not disclosed to Fightful as it pertains to the length of the deal extension and the amounts, or when it was that the agreement actually took place, outside of upon her return. There were additional details provided to Fightful initially that they have not been able to confirm as of yet. They go on to say several sources have noted that in the past that Banks re-signed with the company back in 2018 as well. That topic wasn't broached in conversations regarding her 2019 extension. Banks returned to WWE in August after taking an extended absence following WrestleMania. We all know why. I covered that in depth on this very podcast. And immediately became a top contender for the WWE Raw Women's title when she came back, getting into a feud with Becky Lynch that will hopefully result in her winning the championship at Hell in a Cell. Now, I don't have any more news or information on this particular story. She signs a new contract extension with the WWE. I've been an avid supporter of Sasha Banks for a very long time. I think she is, and a lot of people don't agree with me. You have your own opinions on who you think is the top female talent in the WWE. Sasha Banks is one of the top female talents on the planet, and WWE is very fortunate enough to have her on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what to say about this, and I did not find this out until after I had recorded and got done with part 2 on Saturday. So I definitely was going to make it a thing to talk about on this show. I don't know why Sasha Banks signed with the WWE for a extra extension. I don't know why. I did mention when this was being talked about or being rumored that Why would Sasha Banks extend her current WWE deal when we all know good and well what that company has done to everybody before Sasha Banks? Look at the OC. They were given 5-year deals to stay with the WWE. They were given a top spot on Monday Night Raw. They still are in a prime position on Monday Night Raw, and hopefully they continue to be with Paul Heyman in charge. They were given the tag team championships, and then they were no longer tag team champions, and those championships were given to Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. Then they look like fools. They were given the championship, and they went right back to being losers. Same thing is happening with the Revival. Why are the Revival, SmackDown Live, tag team champions? Because they know, WWE, that the Revival have not signed new WWE deals. So what does WWE do? They force you into this false sense of security where the talent, I hope, is not stupid enough to realize what WWE is doing, but that doesn't always work out to be the case. Hopefully the talent realizes that WWE cannot be trusted. And the reason why they are all of a sudden tag team champions and all of a sudden on SmackDown and all of a sudden, right, SmackDown being the A show now moving to Friday, so you're going to see more Revival on a bigger stage. Moving them to SmackDown, tag team championships, pairing them with Randy Orton. Don't you think this is being done to give the Revival a sense of, now they somehow appreciate us after all the bullshit that we've been going through? Don't you think that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder know what WWE is doing? There's a reason why they haven't signed those contracts, and hopefully they are woke to WWE's mentality. I hope that's not the case. Same thing goes to Luke Harper. That man's contract is up around WrestleMania, and hopefully he walks out as well. I can only hope the same thing happens with Kairi Sane and Asuka and Ember Moon when their contracts are up, because WWE doesn't have any plans for you. Then all of a sudden, you're their top priority. Now they're legit top guys. Really? For 3 years, you buried these guys. Now all of a sudden, you want to make them into top guys on SmackDown Live, tag team champions. Give them to Randy Orton. You fucking kidding me? Don't fall for the bullshit. Has WWE shown Sasha Banks anything as far as their willingness to change or creatively book her better? If I was Sasha, I would have waited to see what WWE really thinks about Sasha Banks. This right now, I think, was a decision that was primarily made because she wants to do it on the biggest stage possible. She knows that she has all the capabilities of being the best women's wrestler on the planet. I just don't think WWE is going to give her the platform to do that. I know from what I know about Sasha Banks, and I know from people that I know who know her, that all that woman wants is to be the best ever. She wants to go out there and wrestle. It doesn't matter what Sasha Banks is doing. She wants to be the best women's wrestler on the planet. She doesn't give a shit where she's doing it. She just wants to wrestle. It was, I would say, my own opinion, money being the lesser of the priorities for Sasha Banks. She wants to be the best ever. That's going to trump whatever is being handed to her monetarily. Contract-wise, that was second. The woman wants to wrestle. The woman wants to be the best ever. That's all she wants. She wants to be known at the end of all this, at the end of her journey, as the best women's wrestler ever. And I appreciate that. And that's why I love that woman so much. Because of that mentality. I'm an avid supporter of hers. I want nothing more than happiness for her and her husband. And I want to think that the reason why Sasha Banks stayed with the WWE is because if she let this contract ride out and she explored other options, that it would be very difficult for her to be away from Mikaze. It would be difficult for her to go to AEW and be away from him after everything that we've seen, them being married, the documentary on WWE Chronicle. She is a major part of his life and vice versa. I honestly think that being tore away from that was a huge deciding factor on what Sasha Banks wants to do as far as the contract goes. That's my opinion on that. I don't know what his deal is with the WWE. I don't know how long he's contractually obligated to WWE, but, with the extension, it might fall in line with what he's got going on with his contract. And maybe, I don't know, she signed the contract with him in mind, and they eventually, at the end of this thing, could walk out together when both of their contracts are up at the same time. That's my mentality with this entire thing. That's a possibility. I don't know if that's the case, but that is a possibility. But I will say this. She's 28, 28 years old, 29 years. She's less than 30 years old. She has all the time in the world, as long as she remains healthy, to go wherever the fuck she wants to go, make just as much money, and still prove that she's the best ever to do it. But I have to say this, and I have to be honest, man. I don't mean any negativity towards her or her husband. After everything that she's done, and everything that she said, and walking away, and being a rebel, and really taking this entire situation by the balls, and all the cryptic tweets, and all the retweets of whatever she did with AEW, and, all the things that she posted on social media in regards to being unhappy with her current position, or with the WWE. Now, looking back at all that, and looking at what she did here with this contract extension, I gotta be honest, man, it makes it seem like she's just a tad bit hypocritical. And she looks like a phony. Like, who is Sasha Banks? Is she who we thought she was? Like, this rebel who's gonna fucking just take a stand for what is right? Or is she going to stay with the corporate machine? Is she going to abide by their wishes? And is she going to be, hopefully not, advancing her career to a point where at the end of all of this, she could be labeled by the fans as the greatest of all time? Does Sasha Banks know something that we don't? Is WWE going to flip the switch on Sasha Banks? Are they finally going to let Sasha Banks be the greatest? Give this woman the spotlight, the ring, that platform to do what she wants to do more than anything else, and that's wrestle and be the greatest ever? Or is WWE going to force her into a false sense of security, think she's getting what she finally deserves, and then WWE is going to take it away from her? And that all is going to be determined when she wins the Raw Women's Championship. She has not had a title reign that lasted over 30 days. And if I see that title reign last less than 30 days, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to blatantly say that I think Sasha Banks made a terrible decision. I know that woman could have gone anywhere and made just as much money and be given the opportunity to be even better than she is now. But I'm going to think that a lot of this has to do with being home, being with the WWE, being with Bayley, being with Mikaze, being with her family, being with her husband, her best friend. Why would she want to be away from that? That is a very powerful thing. You just can't get up and say, you know what, I'm going to go over here and fuck everybody else. That's my opinion on Sasha Banks. Tad bit hypocritical? Yes. Comes off as a phony in some ways? Yes. But I want nothing but happiness. And who knows what that woman is thinking? She's making hand over fist the most money that she's ever seen in her entire life now. Great. I hope that she can give her family the best quality of life ever. I hope that woman finds nothing but happiness. I'm glad that she gets to stay and do what she loves with the biggest wrestling company on the planet, with her husband right there by her side. But was it the right decision for her career? Because I certainly don't trust WWE. There's no reason to believe that Sasha Banks has faith in WWE to do what's right. She knows better than anybody what this company's capable of. She knows exactly what they're probably going to do. But at the end of the day, she took the money and put herself in this position to potentially get fucked over again creatively. And then the vicious cycle happens all over again. I can only hope that with brand exclusivity and Smackdown now on Fox, that things are going to be taking a serious turn. That things are going to be looked at a little bit more seriously. And that Sasha Banks is going to be given a platform to be who she needs to be. And wrestle how we all expect her to wrestle. Without any fucking shitty games behind it. I can only hope. Sasha Banks is signed a contract extension. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. Those are my thoughts on the entire situation. Everybody was asking me, JD, what do you think? You know, you love Sasha Banks so much. You've spoken so in depth about the entire situation, from what happened to her and why she left and your opinion on it. What is your opinion now, looking back at all that you said and defended her? What do you think about this? That's exactly what I think. I love that woman. I love what she brings to the table. I think the way she thinks is very similar to the way I think and how everybody else should think. Money was a second priority to her. Her being the best of all time to her is the number one sole reason why she's doing this. She knows how good she is. She wants to be the best to ever do it. But one has to wonder what was the motivation to stay and sign with people and a wrestling company that in no way, shape, or form you could trust at the end of the day. Because look at what they've done with everybody else. And they'll do exactly that to Sasha Banks. It doesn't matter who you are. So we'll see what happens, man. More will be uncovered as the months go on. We'll see how WWE treats Sasha. We'll see if they do give her the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell, which I would assume. And we'll see how this new contract lends to Sasha and her current stay in the company. I hope it's the right decision at the end of the day. Speaking of Sasha, she got into a back and forth with Seth Rollins. Oh, poor baby Seth Rollins. Right, what happened to Seth Rollins? He gets into a Twitter war. I wouldn't say it's a war, but a back and forth with Sasha on Twitter. Now, if you've been following the WWE for however many years you've been watching, you might know that there is real life heat between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. I don't need a dirt sheet or anything to tell me. I know. Now, Bliss and Banks, their feud, or their real-life heat, stems back to their days in NXT. Banks' latest tweet this week, I won't say it's the latest, I haven't really been on social media, but one of her latest tweets seemingly put all of the negativity out there on social media from her past with Alexa Bliss. She says this, and I quote, "This is a match I've been looking forward to my entire life. The fact that I'm wrestling one half of the tag team champions on the Raw season premiere against Alexa Bliss in 2019 is mind-boggling. Even 6 days out from Hell in a Cell and Becky Lynch, I will empty the tank for the greatest ever." Or one of the greatest ever, she says. End quote. Now, fans were quick to point out that Banks' tweet was full of sarcasm. Who gives a shit? She can do and say whatever she wants on social media. But she just copied and pasted what Seth Rollins said in a tweet about his upcoming match on Monday against Rey Mysterio. This is what Rollins wrote, and you will find that there is vast similarities. He says, and I quote, "This is a match I've been looking forward to my entire life. The fact that I'm defending the Universal title on Raw for the season premiere against Rey Mysterio in 2019 is mind-boggling. Even 6 days out from Hell in a Cell and at Bray Wyatt, I'll empty the tank for one of the greatest ever." End quote. Now, obviously, he's seen Sasha mock his tweets and negatively put Alexa Bliss into this conversation. Mind-boggling is the right word, because I don't know why Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks are in the fucking ring together. There's only one outcome there. Sasha wins. And then what happens when she wins? Because Bayley beat Nikki Cross, didn't she? Or Sasha beat Nikki Cross. I don't even know. I don't care. But the tag team champions are losing to the former tag team champions in singles competition. So when Sasha wins against Alexa Bliss, does this mean that Sasha and Bayley get another not SmackDown, but another tag team title match together? We'll see. But Rollins seen this tweet from Sasha and says this to Sasha Banks: "This is a match I've been looking forward to as much as every other match you've ever had, aka not at all. Luckily for me, you'll under-deliver like you always do and continue to wonder why you're not in more main events." End quote. So there you go. So what happened after that, folks? Seth Rollins put himself in the firing line on social media, and Sasha Banks fans from all over made him delete or deactivate his Twitter account. He is no more on Twitter. Now, this guy's the Universal Champion. You would think that he would let something like this just go and brush it under the rug. Why do you have to go out there and attack Sasha Banks? Do you know nothing of social media. Seth Rollins is one of the worst and most idiotic social media personalities that I think could ever exist on social media. This guy out there willingly attacked Sasha Banks, not knowing the full ramifications of what is to come when you do such an act. I know better. I would not ever attack Sasha Banks or her fan base. I attacked Alexa Bliss and her fan base. My God. My God. The cancer that is social media. So much so, I have a tweet queued up here. Look at this. This is from Alexa Bliss's fans, folks. Look at this. And I'm going to read this in my Hate Mail Monday vibe. This comes from Ashley ASMR 444. JD, what is your problem with Alexa Bliss? Why do you hate her so much? She has been in the business for years and very consistent and very lovely. There has been a lot of female superstar turnover, but Alexa Bliss has always been around the last few years before Becky and Flair got their push. She is legendary. She is a goddess. You are just jealous that you cannot serve her coffee. She likes it with a lot of cream. Now, that really isn't a hate mail, but this is the shit that I get on a daily basis. Honey, if you want Alexa Bliss to have my cream, it's the finest cream in the land, okay? She can milk me all she wants. Asshole. Now, I know that I put myself at risk when I attack Alexa Bliss's fan base. I don't give a shit. Because what are you really going to say that I haven't heard already? But I would not really go out there unless I have something to prove. But Alexa Bliss has not really gotten on my nerves. She's been in a very minor role on television. The political agenda is still there. The blonde agenda is still there. But this idiot, Seth Rollins, you would think he knows. But he doesn't. He attacks Sasha Banks on Twitter, and her fan base comes and fucking roasts him, and then it forces him to delete his social media. Seth, if you are deleting your social media because you can't handle the fucking backlash from Sasha Banks and her fan base, how are you going to be the Universal Champion that we all need you to be? Just goes and shows you, folks. Rollins just proved one thing to you that I've been saying about him for weeks now. Seth Rollins is a Pussy. Pussy. Simple. This was a Family Feud question. The number one answer on the board. Seth Rollins is... Steve Harvey points to the board. Ding, 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 ding. Pussy. There you go. Seth Rollins got to learn a lesson, bro. Stay off social media. If it's not Will Ospreay, if it's not the fucking fans, if it's not you giving a interview, making yourself sound like a fucking idiot, now you're attacking Sasha Banks. You got what you deserved. You got what you deserved. There you go. Finally, guys, we're going to get out of here, but I have one final story about CM Punk. Oh, JD, why are we talking about CM Punk? I don't know, man. I don't know. I find that this story about FS1 is legit. I think it's a legit story. I don't know why he wouldn't be offered the fucking job. You know for a fact he's going to be offered that job. You know for a fact if he went to try out, he's going to get this job. They would be fools not to give it to him. Now we all know that he auditioned for the FS1 studio show, WWE Backstage. He's expected to get an offer. No shit, he's expected to get an offer. Dave Meltzer discussed CM Punk's current situation on the Current Wrestling Observer Radio this weekend. He revealed that AEW told him that they would never sign CM Punk. However, the same might not be true from WWE's side of things. So AEW told Meltzer that they would never sign CM Punk. AEW's full of bullshit. They would never sign CM Punk. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And I would never sleep with Toni Storm if she offered to fucking lay in my bed. Right? Give me a fucking break. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, man. I don't believe that for a fucking second. I don't believe it for a second. Now, he says this, and I quote, and I believe Cody Rhodes stated himself not too long ago that if Punk was open to negotiations, that he would willingly sit down and talk business with CM Punk. Are you kidding me? Meltzer's got to be fucking drugged at this point. He says this, and I quote, there's definitely people in WWE who know the situation, who believe that he wants to wrestle there because he thinks that theirs. And I heard that even before WWE, I heard that ever since StarCast from just the idea is that his goal is that if he figures out with the amount of money, and the amount of money is right now it is in WWE, with how great the money is in WWE is right now, that he can get a great money deal. End quote. Now, Dave Meltzer went on to say that he thinks CM Punk has a desire to want limited dates like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. It is possible, especially with the amount of money of WWE right now with all the new deals and the income that they have. They could certainly give Punk whatever the fuck he wants. When CM Punk said that AEW offered him a contract via text, a lot of people thought he was inching closer to the WWE. Others thought that it was a pipe dream, but it turns out that WWE might be, getting Punk and signing Punk to a deal, and Punk's return might be closer than ever with World Wrestling Entertainment. This big money thinking could have been what inspired CM Punk to tweet the following on the weekend. He tweeted out a GIF, an animated GIF, of Scrooge McDuck, or what was it? Either Scrooge McDuck or Donald Duck wearing a fucking top hat and walking around with a cane, and Daisy Duck is there, he flipped a quarter, and Daisy Duck is on the ground picking up the fucking quarter. Now, I don't know what that means. You can interpret that either way. That means CM Punk is rolling in the money, or I don't know. But everything that the man tweets out is for a specific reason. Nobody knows what he's thinking. Nobody knows what he's thinking at all. Now, Dave Meltzer said this on Wrestling Observer Radio, where he revealed that Punk's audition went well. In fact, he's likely to get a job offer. I don't need to know how good CM Punk did. He walks in there, you're going to give him the fucking job. I guess it went well because the feeling is that he'll probably get an offer, which makes everything really weird because CM Punk on that show, it kind of doesn't make sense in a lot of ways. I can't imagine WWE would want it. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't, but would they go as far as to try and fight with Fox about this, and then Fox is trying to figure out the weirdness of WWE, or would they kind of let it go? Dave Meltzer also said, and he brought up CM Punk's relationship with AEW. Apparently, they were disrespected by what CM Punk said about them, and the bridge might be burned already. He says, and I quote, the master strategists in wrestling have told me the best thing that CM Punk can do is sit. Because in February, even though AEW told me they'd never work with him, I believe that to this day, come February, there's going to be two sides that are going to want him. End quote. It was reported that AEW told Meltzer that they wouldn't work with CM Punk after he did the interview about getting a contract offer via text message. Bullshit. If Punk ends up working for Fox on WWE Backstage, it won't be a WWE run production. It's going to be a Fox run production. But even though this is the way it's being reported, absolutely he's getting offered the job, and absolutely this is a WWE decision. They have a say in this. I don't know if you guys are aware that every time WWE 2K does these things, they want a specific cover star. They want a specific cover star for their game. They want a specific DLC, etc., etc. 2K can want whatever they want, but if Vince doesn't like it or like the decision, he always steps in and gives 2K what he wants, and they have to abide by what Vince McMahon wants. This is the same situation here. If anybody is reporting to you that, oh, this is a Fox decision, they're going out and getting CM Punk on their own without WWE, you're a fucking idiot for believing them. Of course CM Punk is going to get this job. Of course they're going to offer him this job if this is legit, which I think it is. But if you are thinking that WWE doesn't have a say in this, you're an idiot. Of course WWE has a say in this. Of course WWE knows what Fox is doing. They're giving the okay to Fox to offer CM Punk money. Don't fall for the bullshit. Of course WWE knows about this and is giving the thumbs up. Why wouldn't they give the thumbs up? Because there's still a chance he could show up on AEW's debut on Wednesday. He's a fucking free agent. He could show up in Chicago on that pre-Thanksgiving show. He could show up whenever he wants. Why wouldn't WWE allow Fox to go and get CM Punk? Do you know what this does? It takes him off the free agent market. Do you think WWE wants Punk to go to AEW? That's a fucking game changer. That ends the war. There's no coming back from that. He's the biggest free agent in the market right now. You take that man away from the free agent market, there's nobody else. There's no one else. And that leads to Punk being back on WWE television, even though it's a Fox-run show. It's WWE television. He's a personality back on TV. That's one step in the door from him wrestling again. We don't know what that man is thinking. We don't know what that man's thinking. If he wants to come back, is WWE going to say no? No matter what happened with the lawsuit that happened with CM Punk, you know, on the grand scale of things, this is, I wouldn't even rank this above everything else that fucking burned bridges with WWE relationships. Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob. Bret came back to the WWE. Hogan defected to WCW. Hogan, being WWE's greatest asset, went to WCW. He came back. You mean to tell me that it's out of the realm of possibility for CM Punk to come back to the WWE because he sued the company? Give me a break. Give me a break. All of this bullshit can be mended over time. That's what this is going to do. You don't think CM Punk realizes that at the end of the day, he still loves pro wrestling? At the end of the day, his money is not going to last forever. He's a businessman. He knows. He wants to wrestle. No matter how much that man says he doesn't want to wrestle, he doesn't give a shit about wrestling, of course he wants to wrestle. He knows that right now is the right time. Why do it in WWE? Anybody's guess. It's not a money thing either. Tony Khan can offer CM Punk just as much, if not more, than Vince McMahon. So why not go to AEW? I don't believe the bullshit that it's a money issue. I don't believe the bullshit that AEW won't talk to him. Give me a break. Tony Khan, before AEW was even a fucking thing, before they even had a roster, had CM Punk at the top of his list to build a roster around. They want him. Everybody wants him. WWE looks to be getting him. And this is an absolute fucking steal if this is legit. But if you think that WWE doesn't have a hand in this, if you don't think WWE is giving the okay here, you're an idiot. Of course they are. No matter what they say about this being a Fox show, Punk is back on WWE television. Yeah, it's on Fox. Yeah, he's going to be an analyst, but he's on WWE television. Vince is still paying for everything with this show. This is a WWE production still. Of course they're going to have a say in who's going to be on the show and who's not. And if you think that Fox is like, well, we want Punk, you think WWE's going to say, nah, we don't want Punk. Of course they want fucking Punk. Of course they want Punk. Punk is business, and it takes him away from AEW. So there you go, folks. WWE thinks that Punk wants to wrestle. Whatever. You can think whatever you want. As long as you got that man back on television for the right price, he will wrestle. But offering him money and a Brock Lesnar Goldberg-like date or limited dates, we'll see what happens. I don't know if WWE is willing to do that right now for Punk. Let's take it a step at a time. Let's mend the relationship, get him back on TV, see how he is, and then we'll go from there. But Punk back on WWE television, taking him away from AEW, getting him out of the free agent pool, it's the most important thing that they could do here, and WWE's giving Fox the thumbs up on it, man. I'm getting out of here. I'm giving myself the thumbs up, and I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys right back here on Monday, man. Big week. We're going to kick it off with Monday Night Raw and the season premiere. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And I got some fucking indigestion and gas, man. I did so much drinking yesterday, man. I'm lucky I even did this podcast today. But if you guys want to subscribe, please do so. Turn on the bell. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Check out all the other videos that you might have missed in the subscription box on the channel right now. Off the Script, parts 1 and 2 of episode 293 on the channel right now. And like I said, I'll see you guys right back here for Monday Night Raw and the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Until then, guys, again, thank you. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow for Raw.